What's up, my totally law-abiding citizens that would never, ever even think about committing the sin of speeding in traffic? I know, I'm not on a motorcycle. This is probably weird for a lot of you, because you're used to seeing me on a motorcycle, but you know what? I have other things I like. Telecasters. I love these things. A couple months ago I got bored. Pandemic's been getting to my mind. A lot of you have been not seeing that video I put out a couple weeks ago, a motovlog, which is about 20 minutes long, talking about all this, because it got shadow banned by YouTube, because I tried to get banned, because I was actually honest on it. I showed my fucking personality. Oop, hair break. Messy bun time. If you haven't seen it yet, go look in my channel. It's the video right before this one. So anyways, a couple videos ago I was talking about how I wanted to build a parts caster out of a Telecaster body and whatever neck I could find, because I have a vision for what I think a Telecaster should look like. I was looking around and pricing things out, and I was like, wow, it costs $350 to build, or I could just buy a Squier for less than that money, and it would be a ready-made guitar that I could just modify. So then I start looking, and I'm looking, and I was like, well, I want something that's going to be equipped with humbuckers. Well, I don't want it to be too humbucker-ish, so I said, how about hot rails? I've never had a guitar with hot rails before. My main guitar is a Parker PM20 Pro. I'll show it in another video, and if you're interested in that, this video gets like 2 likes, I'll make a video about that. Yeah, really easy, I know. This guitar, a Squier Telecaster RH, and what that really means is rail humbucker. It's the contemporary model, that's why it has kind of like, you know, contemporary just kind of means 90s or 80s for Fender Squier guitars, I don't know why. I saw this guitar and a few things popped out at me and I was like, whoa, I'm gonna buy that. One was the color. As you can see from the intro, it's an awesome color. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, it's greenish. What they call it is gunmetal metallic. The real showstopper is that this is a Squier with a roasted maple neck. You just don't find entry-level guitars with this. And then I started to realize that entry-level guitars aren't what they used to be. What it used to be, when I started playing guitar when I was young, was you had your entry-level guitars, which is just your standard Squier Stratocaster, or like any Washburn of the time. Then you had your mid-level guitars, which was like most LTDs, most Ibanez's, anything that's not an Ibanez Geo. An Ibanez Geo was also a very good entry-level guitar at the time, especially if you wanted something with a humbucker in it. Basically had like 3 options. You had your entry-level stuff, which was about $100 to $200. You had your mid-level stuff, which was like $450 to $650. And then you had your pro-level guitars and your custom shop stuff, which would start at around $900 to $1,200 and go all the way up to God knows where. Now you can buy, well, this thing. When it first came out, it was supposed to MSRP at about $350, but the pandemic has thrown everything for a loop, so this one was $430. You know what? It's well worth it. I've played other $400 mid-level guitars 10 years ago, and like LTDs and Ibanez's, you know, RG series that are in the low 400s. They didn't feel nearly as good as this thing. It's not this guitar. It's a lot of guitars in this price range that are like that now. So, if you're young and you're trying to get into guitar right now, you're in a blessed position, because entry-level guitars right now, you can buy a $120 guitar that plays unlike any other $120 guitar from 10 years ago. Those don't even come close to scratching the surface of what the new ones can do. Congratulations. Go out and buy yourself a Squier, because Squiers are great. My first guitar was a Squier. I went on to buy a LTD M1000, which is like a higher mid-level guitar. Actually the highest mid-level guitar that you can get in the LTD line, which was EMG 81 equipped and neck through body. It was mahogany, everything. That guitar was awesome. MSRP'd for I think $899 when it first came out, and it still like basically was almost comparable to this, which is less than half the price brand new. Without further ado, let's get into the stats and the specs. This is a poplar-bodied guitar with a roasted maple neck, as we said before. It's not a very aggressive roast. This is what I would consider like a mid to light roast, but a roast it is. It has the gunmetal metallic finish, which is awesome, and it even has it on the headstock, which is kind of unlike Squier. This guitar has the stock Fender string-through style tuners, I actually like these. These are good tuners. I'm going to keep these when I modify this guitar. I'm going to keep these and probably put them on something else. These new contemporary models have a belly cut, which is awesome. Not only that, they do something that's unlike most Fender guitars, unless you get up like really into the high money, and you go with Charvel if you want something that's Fender but not Fender. This is something that a lot of Charvels are equipped with. It's the comfort cut down here. These pickups are a new from Squier thing. They're called SQR, which, yeah, I know, it means Squier, but this is a humbucker. This is also a humbucker. For a lot of you that don't know that much about guitars yet, this might look like a single coil, and it fits a single coil body, but it's actually 2 rails, and it is double wound, so it is a humbucking pickup. Unlike most humbuckers, it's not really that hot. It's like a mid-range. It doesn't have that like super warm tone to it, where it's almost dead from a passive pickup, and these are passive pickups, by the way, which I do prefer. Because amplifiers nowadays, with all the modulation they have, you don't really need active pickups to drive the amp like back in the 80s or 90s. Let's do some tone tests. All of the tests I'm going to do here is going to be with the tone knob rolled back about 10 to 15%. Without further ado, let's go have some fun. That's the tone demo of this guitar. Well, that's the clean tone demo. Let's put some backing tracks on and try this with different types of tones. I think it'll be fun to do that. Try something with a little bit more dirt to it now. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for you today. Next time you see this guitar, it's going to look a little different. And by little, I mean a lot of little. I hope you enjoyed this time. I know I did. Tune in next time. And please, for the love of God, understand that I will quit YouTube if I don't reach 1,000 by the time that December 31st, 2021 starts. So, gently go down there and bend that string, that G string, you know the one I'm talking about, all the way up to the subscribe button. Like the video, leave a comment. Peace out. Stay marvelous.